Guess what, everybody? I've got a new book, and it is a Mr. T book. It's called The Tale of the Tall Toothbrush. The book is very old. Early morning, Mr. T waits for his friend, Tall Toothbrush. He loves to have Tall Toothbrush take care of his tall teeth. There's Mr. T with his tall teeth. Oh, good morning, Mr. T, says Tall Toothbrush happily. I will be ready to work as soon as I set up my equipment. Mr. T can hardly wait. This book is older than your parents. At last, Tall Toothbrush is ready to begin. He brushes a tooth from the top of the tip to the tip of the top. And then Tall Toothbrush stops. He tells Mr. T a funny story. Then he starts brushing another tooth. The two friends have fun together. Tall Toothbrush works and tells Mr. T funny stories. Mr. T laughs and laughs. Every morning he laughs so loud he wakes up the roosters. The roosters crow. They wake up everybody in Letter People Land. This is the way each day begins. One day, something terrible happens. It starts when a salesperson introduces Mr. T to a battery toothbrush. Battery toothbrush shows Mr. T how fast he can clean his teeth. Mr. T likes how fast he works. The next morning, Tall Toothbrush comes to work. Wait, says Mr. T. Do not set up your equipment. You take too much time to clean my teeth. This is Battery Toothbrush. He will take care of my teeth. I do not need you anymore. How do you think that made Tall Toothbrush feel? Look at his face. How does he feel right now? Was that a nice thing for a friend to do? Tall Toothbrush is terribly unhappy. He and Mr. T have been friends for a long time. He loves Mr. T. What will Tall Toothbrush do? The next morning, Tall Toothbrush does not come to Mr. T's house. Battery Toothbrush brushes Mr. T's tall teeth. Battery Toothbrush works fast. He has no time to tell Mr. T funny stories. Now, the trouble starts in Letter People Land. Battery Toothbrush does not make Mr. T laugh. What happens when Mr. T laughs? Remember? Mr. T does not wake up the roosters. And the roosters do not wake up the people. Everyone is late. That's my kitty scratching the window. That's something he likes to do. He's a really weird cat. Day after day, Battery Toothbrush quickly brushes Mr. T's tall teeth. Mr. T says, "Oh, Battery Toothbrush works much faster than Tall Toothbrush. It is a quick way to clean my teeth, but I never laugh anymore." One day, Battery Toothbrush cannot work. He tells Mr. T he needs new batteries. Mr. T looks at the clock. He says, "Well, the stores are open. I will go and buy batteries." Mr. T goes from store to store. The stores are closed. There are no people on the streets. There are no cars. There are no buses. Why is that happening? Why is everything closed? Where are all the people? Mr. T does not understand. Then he sees the roosters sleeping. "Wake up," he calls. "Why are you still sleeping?" "Oh, there's no one to awaken us," answer the roosters. "You never laugh anymore." Mr. T says, "Oh, it is true I never laugh anymore. I should never have sent Tall Toothbrush away. He did more than just brush my teeth. He made me happy. I did not treat him right. I must tell him I was wrong." Mr. T telephones Tall Toothbrush. There is no answer. Mr. T goes to Tall Toothbrush's house. Mr. T looks and looks. He cannot find him. Mr. T says, "Oh, I must tell Tall Toothbrush. Must find Tall Toothbrush. I must tell him I am sorry." I have an idea. In a place far away, Tall Toothbrush turns on a television set. He sees Mr. T. He hears him say, "I want everyone to know that the trouble in Letter People Land is all my fault. I had a very good friend. He cared about me. I sent him away. I am sorry. If Tall Toothbrush is listening, I hope he will forgive me." Every day, Mr. T waits and watches for Tall Toothbrush. Battery Toothbrush waits and watches too. He is tired of cleaning Mr. T's tall teeth. He uses too many batteries. Tall Toothbrush does not come. One morning, Mr. T sees something. He thinks he's dreaming. He rushes to the door. There is Tall Toothbrush carrying his equipment. The next morning, the roosters are sleeping. Suddenly, they hear Mr. T laughing. Happily, the roosters crow. Cock-a-doodle-doo! Happily, everyone in Letter People Land wakes up, so the day begins. The end.